What is up, Timbos? Captain here, Triple S Storm, and I apologize for the missing news content over the past few weeks. I mean, everybody's been looking forward to it. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody was looking forward to it. I mean, nobody even watches these videos. People watch these videos. Anyway, if you guys do watch these videos and you guys enjoy them, you find them helpful, then just leave a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know that you guys watch these videos and you guys enjoy these videos. But anyways, guys, again, apologize for the missing video content. I've been trying to catch up on my One Piece. I haven't watched One Piece in a while, and One Piece does grasp one concept, well, a few concepts about cinematography, right? And one of them is they've grasped a concept that is more about the journey than it is about destination, as well as they've grasped the concept of characters and having unique characters, everybody having their own unique things towards them to make them as interesting as possible. And it's kind of what brings me to today's video, where I'm going to be talking about Under Construction, which is the Jamaica Esports Initiative. Finally got that word out in one take. But it is the JEI Fortnite tournament Under Construction 2. There was an Under Construction 1 last year around the exact same time, and they streamed that one. I missed that one because back then I wasn't as deep into researching as I am right now, where, you know, I kind of asked the necessary questions. Also, a bunch of you guys commented in my last comment section, and you guys let me know that they do stream on Twitch. So I actually went to their official Instagram, which led me to their official Twitch page and, you know, their official Discord. Well, their Instagram led me to, I think, their Discord or their Twitch. I can't remember, but I definitely remember that I found out about their Twitch on their Discord, which is a bit strange. I keep wondering, why is there no part for me to like type and communicate with anybody on their Discord? If there is somebody in their Discord, please let me know, because I'm trying to see if I can communicate with these guys and stuff, and I just can't. But anyways, guys, last Sunday Under Construction 2 went underway, and a lot of people have been saying that it's a complete failure. I disagree with that. There were a few issues. There were many issues with it, but there were a few more notable issues with it that I kind of had a problem with personally, and a few of them that I had a problem with professionally. So one of the things that they did was that they used the queue block system, which is basically where you queue up players in blocks, which is basically for each player that if you're doing like duos, you give out the code to two persons, and then those two persons queue up, and then you give out the code again to another two persons, and those two persons queue up. And once you see that number go up past the number of persons who are supposed to queue up, then you start the queue over and you start issuing out the codes all over again. And then whichever person last got the code and then somebody else queued up, then you know exactly what's going on there, or you know at least which persons within that queue pool that are the leakers of the code. So they did that to kind of prevent people from entering the tournament who wasn't supposed to be a part of the tournament. But even before they got there, though, one of the issues that happened was they had a 100-player cap. So once they got to 100 players, somebody told me that the application closed. I don't have 100% proof of this, but I was told that once they got to 100 players, they did close the application. So once they got that 100-player cap, nobody else could have joined, which was unfortunate, because most of the times in these tournaments, when you have people enter, some people just enter just to have their names entered, and some people enter because they actually want to play. Some people do get to enter, but the times that the tournaments are being hosted, they unfortunately cannot be present, so they don't end up turning up. So you might have 150 players that have entered, like with the summer skirmish. Well, not this, yeah, with the summer skirmish series, where I had around 150 to 180 players that entered, and when the initial tournament started, we had maybe about 60 or maybe about 70 or 80 players that actually queued up. So that's one of those things that happened. Nonetheless, tournament went underway. And the first thing that happened was the starting time was delayed because they had queuing issues with people. There were issues with the code, and nobody knew who had the actual code. So there was a big problem right there. And then after they got that one sorted out, then there was the issue of queuing up the players, and they had to keep changing the codes to, eliminate players who didn't enter from join in. And once they got that finished, and they finally got it started and the queue started, and we actually got to the actual match. The first thing was that we had like ridiculous frame rate issues where it at one point seems like maybe about 15 frames per second or 25 frames per second, maybe even less than that, maybe about 2 or 3 frames per second. So the frame rate got ridiculously low, and like you could see the commentators on the left side, and you could see them being refreshed in like 35 to 60 frames per second. So you definitely know that it wasn't the stream that was lagging. It was definitely whatever device it was that they were using to do the actual tournament, to do the actual replay. Also, they couldn't tell the players' names in replay mode, so they had no idea who's who and stuff. So it kind of became a bit confusing though. One thing I will give them credit for is their scoring system. They actually had a very efficient scoring system because somehow they knew who was who to be able to award people their points. So I have to give them credit for that, because when it comes to me and my tournaments, if I'm doing a point system, I normally award points after the tournament ends, because it's hard to keep track of the points during tournament unless you have observers, which normally in my tournaments I have anywhere between 3 to 6 observers to observe what's actually going on and keeps track of the scores and the kill feed and stuff like that. So that's another thing that I have to give them credit for. But then once it was really hard for them to keep track of who's who. I will again give the commentary team credit, because despite the trashing that was going on in the chats, they did try their absolute best to keep things together, and they try to keep it as entertaining as they possibly could. So I have to give them credit for that. A lot of people don't give commentators a lot of credit. I do know a lot of people do give me a lot of credit for the commentary that me and also Bulls, they give Bulls a lot of credit for the commentary that he does as well. So they do give us a lot of credit, because we actually have this kind of fluid chemistry as commentators, so we're normally doing it. But the difference is that there's actually things that are going on the screen that we can keep up with, and the audience also can keep up with. So it's a bit fluent and crisp for us compared to them, where they had this weird frame rate lag, and also they didn't have any idea who was playing. So it was kind of weird for them, and I kind of understand with them, but they did their best to hold it together. So huge props to them. But one of the things that I definitely would recommend for them next time is, if anybody from the Jamaica Esports Initiative is watching my videos, or anybody who knows anybody from the Jamaica Esports Initiative watches my video. I know Rasta Hugs was there, because he was there right around when the controversy went down, which is a whole nother topic, but I'm gonna lightly touch on it. After the match, when they had the huge Discord community thing, it got really messy. They were unprofessional. Everybody was going at them, who's gonna pull whose IP, who's gonna boot who offline and stuff like that. People use VPNs though, just saying. But it got pretty messy, and it just goes to show, this is one of the reasons why in my tournaments we don't have the actual players in a voice chat with us, to avoid things like these, because egos are gonna mix, and not everybody's gonna have the nicest things to say. And with YouTube now changing their new policies, where you either choose to make family friendly content or you don't choose to make family friendly content, and you lose some privileges and gain some by making family friendly content, and you gain some privileges and lose some by making age restricted content. So it's a win-win in a way, and it's a lose-lose in a way. But they were on Twitch, and they were speaking their mind loudly, aggressively, and it kind of didn't resonate with me. So I eventually stopped the stream, because I was watching this stream. It was just men just going off at each other, just who's gonna do this, who's gonna do that, whatever. So I actually stopped watching right around that time. But if anybody from the Jamaica Esports Initiative, or anybody who knows anybody from the Jamaica Esports Initiative is watching this, if you guys want my recommendation for what you guys should do, I recommend that you guys actually find a squad that you guys choose to spectate, 4 players that you guys trust, and you guys choose those 4 players to spectate. You have them put in the code first to start the code, or the person who you guys are gonna be making actually have the code. You have that person create a lobby for himself, and then you use a different lobby to do the spectating. So the player who's gonna be the person who's gonna actually be doing the stream should be spectating. And I definitely don't recommend using that PC. If you guys do have a capture card, I'd recommend you guys use a console. It's a lot smoother on console because the console does all the processing and stuff, as regards to you having the PC that has to do all of the streaming, then handle the game data and everything. So I recommend that you guys, one, have a different person have the code to be able to start the match. You and that person can be in a voice chat, okay? Then have that person start the game, and then you join a person's party, which is the 4 persons that you trust. You join their party, and then once you've joined their party, then you can then watch their game from there. And then when you start watching their game, you'll have their names and everything being displayed. You guys actually know what's doing. I haven't tested this method out myself, but I do have a pretty good feeling that it should work, as I have tried this once while I tried to spectate Chargy to see what he was doing, and it did work for him. I did it with Gremlins once, and it did work with him. You should be able to see the person's name, and you should be able to cycle between their teammates and stuff. So you will have a better way of spectating, and a more entertaining way. You actually know who you're spectating. Again, haven't fully tested this yet, but I do recommend that you guys try that out. Also guys, I don't recommend that you guys have this massive Discord audio chat, and if you guys do, I highly recommend that you guys don't have these guys talking on the stream, because it would be very, because like, here's the thing, if I was screencasting that to like my boss or to my parents-in-law, you know what I mean, or to my child, I'm sitting there and I'm watching this with my 1.5-year-old daughter, and we're watching this stream, and then these guys start going off. No, this isn't the kind of thing that I want my child to see. And that's just one of the things that you guys have to consider. Again, if this is something that you guys want to work, you guys want sponsors, I mean, you guys have it figured out a lot better than I do as a content creator, so I will give you guys that. But me from the outside looking in at this, if I was like a certain potential investor looking at the situation, it doesn't look too bad. So again guys, I'm not trash talking you guys, I'm not bashing on you guys. The thing is that I'm just doing what I do, which is give creative criticisms to people, because I'm not just gonna keep my opinions to myself in a way that you guys can make things better. That is why I identify the problems, and then I give you guys solutions. I want to see every single person, every single aspect of this gaming community grow, especially the ones that I have vested interest in. I really want to see these areas grow, and because of that, I will always be giving my honest input towards it. Same way I've given my honest input towards montages in the current state of montages, and the same way I've given my input to people who would like for me to give them special preferences for whatever reasons, while there are other people who don't get these special preferences. So this is just one of those things, guys. And again guys, I really hope that somebody from the Jamaica Esports Initiative hears this, and they do the necessary steps, and they actually come out to the next few Sundays with a much better stream, and in a better form factor that not just me but everybody who's watching the stream will actually enjoy. This is Triple S Storm, guys. Stay one by the Tumbo, and take care.